In American history, a trail of both hope and heartache stretches across the expansive wilderness, the Oregon Trail. As pioneers embarked on a perilous journey toward the promise of new beginnings, the trail bore witness to the resilience of the human spirit. Yet beneath its picturesque landscapes lies a poignant tale of life and death, marking the Oregon Trail as the nation's longest and most poignant graveyard.
Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos.
While the 19th century pioneers and a significant portion of recorded history tend to romanticize the 2,000-mile Oregon Trail, the harsh reality is that nearly 1 in 10 individuals who embarked on this journey did not survive. The Oregon Trail is this nation's longest graveyard. Out of approximately 350,000 people who initiated this arduous expedition, the trail extracted a toll of up to 30,000 lives, averaging 10 to 15 deaths per mile. Between 1841 and 1869, the Oregon Trail witnessed a multitude of fatalities primarily caused by disease, accidents, and adverse weather conditions. Disease emerged as the most formidable adversary along the Oregon Trail, claiming the lives of a staggering 9 out of 10 pioneers who fell ill. The hardships of weather, limited diet, and exhausting conditions left travelers exceptionally susceptible to contagious illnesses like cholera, flu, dysentery, measles, mumps, tuberculosis, and typhoid fever. These diseases could rapidly spread throughout entire wagon camps due to limited sanitation opportunities, resulting in contaminated water sources and unsanitary living conditions. Cholera, a waterborne disease, emerged as the leading cause of death on the Oregon Trail. Cholera could attack a perfectly healthy person after breakfast, and he would be in his grave by noon. With no available cure or treatment, those afflicted by cholera typically succumbed within 24 hours or even less, enduring immense suffering during their final moments within the jostling confines of wagons. In dire years, certain wagon trains lost a devastating 2/3 of their members to this merciless disease. Contaminated food frequently led to food poisoning, particularly among men. Additionally, scurvy, resulting from a deficiency of vitamin C, posed a significant health challenge. Poisoning from drinking water that was too alkaline was also common. Wagon accidents were the most common, with children and adults sometimes falling off or under wagons and being crushed under the wheels. Crossing rivers was one of the most dangerous things that pioneers were required to do. The potential for swollen rivers to overturn wagons, submerging both people and oxen, posed a grave threat. This hazard extended to the loss of valuable provisions, merchandise, and equipment. At times, such mishaps were triggered by animals panicking while navigating deep and rapid waters. Tragically, hundreds met their demise attempting to cross treacherous rivers like the Kansas, North Platte, and Columbia. A particularly harrowing incident occurred in 1850 when 37 lives were claimed while trying to ford the challenging Green River. Those who managed to escape drowning often found themselves at the mercy of ferry operators, who often exacted exorbitant fees. Charges could reach up to $16, nearly equivalent to the cost of an ox. Astonishingly, a single ferry operator amassed $65,000 in earnings during just one summer, leading to bitter complaints from the immigrants. Gradually, the risk associated with river crossings diminished as bridges and ferries became more accessible. However, even with these advancements, tales persisted of rafts capsizing and improvised bridges collapsing, throwing people to their deaths. At times, alcohol played a role in unfortunate events. An instance on June 2, 1853, stands out when a heavily intoxicated immigrant misjudged the rain-swollen Buffalo Creek. His wagon was driven in, and he vanished without a trace. Firearms ranked as the second leading cause of injuries and fatalities among immigrants. The necessity for hunting and apprehension of potential Indian attacks led to an abundance of weaponry within wagon trains, far beyond what was truly necessary. A particular Oregon Trail expedition boasted a staggering 72-wagon convoy carrying an arsenal of 260 pistols and rifles, nearly a ton of lead, and over 1,000 pounds of gunpowder. The majority of travelers lacked proper firearm training and experience. Consequently, countless people accidentally shot themselves or others. Ironically, the first recorded immigrant fatality due to an accidental gunshot transpired on May 13, 1841, and bore the name John Shotwell. Tragically, he fell victim to his own mishandling of a rifle. When he reached for the rifle, muzzle first, the firearm went off. The handling of domesticated animals likewise contributed to incidents, as oxen, horses, and mules occasionally threw, kicked, or dragged travelers. In some instances, stampeding livestock resulted in further harm. Ill-advised solo adventures sometimes led to fatal encounters with wild animals. A few memorable occurrences involved wagon trains being overrun by buffalo, leading to chaos and injuries. Other immigrants suffered cuts, broken bones, burns, animal, insect, and snake bites. The threat of drowning was particularly pronounced during the 1850s, a time when ferries were scarce and quicksand also claimed its share of lives. Perils linked to weather encompassed thunderstorms, dangerously large hailstones, lightning strikes, tornadoes, grass fires, and forceful winds. Fatalities arose from lightning strikes, claiming the lives of several immigrants, while others suffered injuries from hailstones as sizable as apples. Within the Rocky Mountains, formidable snowstorms and harsh cold brought forth frostbite and death by freezing. Interestingly, most Indians were peaceful and often helped the immigrants in various ways. Indians often engaged in trade interactions with the pioneers, offering fresher or diverse sustenance to diversify their diets. In return, they received clothing items and trade goods specifically procured for such exchanges, as well as to replace worn-out shoes and boots. The assistance provided by Native Americans extended beyond the trade. Before white men set up ferries and bridges to cross treacherous rivers, Indians made ferries out of canoes to take wagons and people across. Despite the relatively limited instances of actual hostile engagements, exaggerated accounts of confrontations with Native Americans held a disproportionate sway, further fueling the pioneers' apprehensions. This was further complicated by trigger-happy immigrants who shot at Indians for target practice and out of an unfounded fear. With the absence of civil laws, law enforcement officers, or established courts of law to safeguard those embarking on the journey across the plain, protection was often scant. Although the presence of the military offered a degree of safety in proximity to forts, this safeguard was far from comprehensive. Consequently, wagon trains took it upon themselves to dispense justice and formulate their own codes of conduct. Even before departing from Missouri, an initial imperative was drafting a constitution that would govern behavior and establish the regulations the group would uphold while traversing the wilderness. For minor transgressions, mediation was typically the chosen route for resolution. Serious crimes such as murder, rape, theft of horses were addressed formally. In such cases, the immigrants would appoint a judge, assemble a jury, and conduct a trial according to the standards they understood. Punishments for these grave crimes ranged from banishment from the wagon train to the ultimate penalty of hanging. Incidents of gunfire were not uncommon, yet a lesser-known aspect of trail history is the nearly 200 recorded murders that occurred on the Oregon-California Trail during the mid-1800s. A solitary individual, Ephraim Brown, stands as an exception, with his murder being documented and his final resting place identified. Ephraim Brown, a notable figure among Missouri pioneers leading a wagon train en route to California, met his demise in 1857 near South Pass, Wyoming. His death emerged from a deeply entrenched family dispute, casting a somber shadow on the trail's history. Starvation frequently loomed as a dire threat to immigrants, yet it more commonly claimed the lives of the draft animals essential for the journey. However, it was the cause of death for the Donner Reed Party in 1846 when the group was stranded by an early snowfall in the high Sierras. Amidst this harsh predicament, 35 members of the party died, prompting the remaining 47 survivors to eat their dead. The relentless hardships and pangs of homesickness prompted approximately 1 out of every 10 immigrants to abandon their westward journey. Some of these determined individuals halted their endeavor at the jumping-off points along the Missouri River, where the financial burden or were scared off by stories they heard. Mary Ellen Todd, who left Arkansas for Oregon in 1852, she recounted that of the 100 wagons that initiated the expedition, 96 of them turned around after traveling a considerable distance. In 1850, an Oregon Trail pioneer named Seth Llewellyn crossed paths with a caravan of 300 wagons retreating from St. Joseph, Missouri, a key jumping-off town. This sizable group had been forced to retreat due to a combination of inadequate planning and the loss of essential provisions required for the arduous trail journey. Similarly, in 1852, Ezra and Eliza Jane Meeker encountered a caravan of 11 wagons slowly making their way eastward against the prevailing traffic flow. These determined women, bereft of their male companions who had perished, were steadfastly heading back, yearning to reclaim their homes in the eastern regions. These Gobacks were a significant source of information of the wonders, dangers, and disappointments of what lay upon the trail. Despite the formidable challenges, few immigrants ever regretted their decision to move west. After conquering a substantial stretch of Nebraska's expanse, the pioneers experienced a surge of elation upon reaching iconic landmarks such as Courthouse Rock, Chimney Rock, and Scotts Bluff that marked significant milestones on their arduous odyssey. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.